This is how I nearly lost all my pigs before December 2022. Let me tell you what happened. My farm is a backyard type, and so I can visit it several times before going to bed. The reason why I do that is to take note of every other organism that comes to the farm at night. If they are rodents, I then find ways to deal with them. And on my farm too, I always ensure that I clear the grass and weeds about 10 feet wide from the housing structure. Little did I know that it wasn't enough to keep soldier ants away. Yes, soldier ants. Because I always checked around the pen before going to bed and never found any soldier ants around. It did not happen to me on the first week in December 2022 to do the needful. It was only after 12:30 a.m. thereabout that a younger brother came to wake me up, adding that my pig pen was flooded with soldier ants. It was that day I realized the importance of spare rooms on the farm. We had to move the pigs room by room into the empty rooms available, including that of the veranda, so we could eliminate the soldier ants. One thing about the pigs was that even though they were under attack, they never made any sound or even cried to draw attention. They only stood calm whilst trying to shake the ants off. Had it not been the goats that were in the veranda bleating to draw attention, the pigs could have gone the next morning. From this, to share with you, you should always clear the weeds around your farm about 20 feet away or as wide as possible. Remember to always sweep the cleared areas often, especially during the cool times, since soldier ants love to be in the moist places. And the second thing is you should have at least one spare room for such incidences. Spare rooms on your farm should not always be used for quarantining of sick pigs, but can also save you in a situation like this, where you'll be able to move your pigs there and then do the necessary thing you're supposed to do. And to also help deal with these soldier ants, from time to time, you should try burning old car tires in the evenings. The smell from these tires are able to drive away the soldier ants. Even though I burnt them when I realized they were in the farm, I burnt them, but most of them were not going off because they were also lining up to come to the pen. So what helped me a lot was the tie I used, burning the tie, and they couldn't stand the smell, so they had to move back. And the last thing I will also add in terms of how you can deal with soldier ants coming to your farm is to manage the pigs' effluent properly on the farm by dumping them further places away from the pen. If you have the budget, you can even construct a drying site for pigs dropping. You can use them later as fertilizers in your farm if you want. Soldier ants can attack your pigs. I know pigs will not make noise. So I was wondering, what if my farm happened to be a place further from where I could not have visited them at that time, or my brother couldn't have visited them at that time? What was I going to do? So this means those of us who have our pig farms close to where there are rivers like slopy areas, marshy areas, it means you have to do the needful by clearing the place as wide as possible, and don't joke with the burning of the ties. You should always burn ties as often as possible so that you can keep the soldier ants away. So with this, what would I have done if the pigs people paid for in my farm in advance were lost to soldier ants before they even came to pick them up?